Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to tackle Gold IRA rollovers.
Right.
You've probably heard about this, basically, taking money from your current retirement account, like a 401k or an IRA, and shifting it into an IRA that actually holds physical gold.
Yeah. Physical gold, silver, sometimes other metals too.
And the reasons people look into this, well, often it's about diversification, maybe hedging against inflation, or just wanting something tangible, a bit of a safety net, when the economy feels uncertain.
That's the core idea, bringing a hard asset into your long-term savings picture.
So our mission here today is pretty clear. We want to cut through some of the confusion and figure out exactly which retirement plans you can actually use for a Gold IRA rollover. We're basing this on a really helpful guide we looked at. The
Mhm.
goal is clarity for you, the listener, get you the essentials without, drowning in jargon.
Yeah, and this guide does a good job laying out the different account types and what you need to consider if this is something you're thinking about.
Okay, great. So let's start broad. Which types of retirement plans are actually eligible for this kind of rollover?
Well, the guide lists several main ones. You've got your standard individual retirement accounts. It's both traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs.
Okay, the individual ones.
Right. And then there's a whole set of employer-sponsored plans. Think 401ks, 403bs. Those are often for teachers, nonprofit folks.
Right, I've seen those.
457B plans, and also the Thrift Savings Plan, the TSP, for federal employees.
Wow. Okay, so that covers quite a range. Knowing that list up front really helps you see if your own plan might even be in the running.
Exactly. It helps frame the possibilities based on your own situation.
Let's dig into those a bit, starting with the individual accounts traditional IRAs. How does that work?
So with the traditional IRA, the key thing, as the guide points out, is that contributions are often tax deductible, and the money grows tax deferred.
Right.
Yeah,
Pay taxes later.
exactly. For a rollover, you'd contact your current IRA custodian, the bank or brokerage, holding it now, and tell them you want to transfer funds to a new custodian, one that specifically handles Gold IRAs.
And I guess a really critical point there is making sure that new Gold IRA custodian is, legit and IRS compliant.
Absolutely essential.
Mhm.
You need a custodian who knows the rules and follows them. That's non-negotiable for it to be a valid IRA.
Makes sense. Okay, what about the Roth IRA? People like those for the tax-free withdrawals later.
Right. With Roth, you put in money you've already paid taxes on. Then, assuming you meet the rules, your qualified withdrawals in retirement are tax-free.
The dream.
Yeah, the rollover process itself is pretty similar to the traditional. You contact the current custodian, arrange the transfer to the new Gold IRA custodian.
But does investing in gold change the tax treatment?
That's the crucial part. The guide highlights no, it doesn't. The tax-free status of qualified withdrawals from your Roth SPICs, it stays tax-free, even if the underlying asset is now gold instead of, say, stocks or mutual funds.
Oh, that's really good to know. The tax status travels with the money, not the investment type itself.
Precisely.
Okay, let's shift gears to the employer plans then. 401k, huge numbers of people have these, often with a lot of money saved up. Can you roll those over?
Generally, yes, especially 401ks from previous employers, ones you're no longer working for.
Ah, okay. Not usually the current one.
Usually not the one from your current job, though plan rules can vary. But for old ones, the guide says you contact that old plan's administrator. And here's the key. You request a direct rollover.
Direct rollover. Heard that term before. Why direct?
Direct means the money goes straight from the old 401k administrator to your new Gold IRA custodian. It never touches your personal bank account. This way, you avoid potential income tax hits and early withdrawal penalties.
Got it. Direct equals safe, tax-wise. What about 403bs? You mentioned educators, nonprofits. Similar deal.
Very similar, yes. The guide explains 403bs are structured like 401ks, but for those specific sectors. Again, if you've left that job, you can typically roll the 403b over into a Gold IRA.
And I'm guessing, contact the administrator, request a direct transfer.
You got it. Contact the 403b provider. Arrange that direct transfer to the Gold IRA custodian. Keeps everything neat and maintains the tax-deferred status.
Seems like a pattern here with the employer plans leaving the job is often the trigger that allows the rollover.
Yeah.
How about 457Bs?
Exactly the same logic. 457Bs are common for state and local government workers, and some nonprofits too. Once you separate from that employer, the guide confirms you're generally eligible to roll those funds into a Gold IRA.
And the process.
Contact the plan administrator, direct rollover to the Gold IRA custodian. Avoids tax issues. It's consistent.
Okay. And finally, the TSP, Thrift Savings Plan. For federal workers and military, can they get in on gold IRAs?
Yes, they can. Once you leave federal service, the guide says you can roll your TSP funds into a Gold IRA.
Same procedure, I assume.
Yep. Fill out the TST paperwork, request that direct transfer to your chosen Gold IRA custodian. Your savings keep their tax-deferred status, but now they're backed by physical gold.
All right, so we've got a really clear map now of which plans can potentially be rolled over. Let's talk about the why a bit more. What are the main upsides people see in doing this?
Well, the guide really emphasizes a few key potential benefits. Diversification is probably the biggest one mentioned.
Meaning not having all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Gold often moves differently than stocks and bonds. So adding it could potentially smooth out your portfolio's ride, especially when the economy gets rocky. It's also seen as a potential hedge against inflation.
Right, the idea that gold might hold its value better when the dollar buys less.
That's the theory. Historically, it sometimes has, sometimes hasn't, but it's a common reason. Plus, some people just like the idea of owning a tangible asset, something you could, in theory, hold. It provides a different kind of security feeling than digital statements.
I can see the appeal of that. But it can't all be sunshine and, well, gold bars. What are the downsides or cautions?
Oh, definitely. The guide is clear on this too. There are costs. Setting up a Gold IRA, annual maintenance fees, and storage fees for the physical metal. Those add up.
Storage fees.
Yes.
Because you can't just keep it at home.
Correct, we'll get to that. But yes, secure vaulting costs money. Also, unlike stocks that might pay dividends or bonds paying interest, gold just sits there. It doesn't generate income.
No passive income stream.
None. And while it can be stable long-term, gold prices can definitely bounce around in the short term. It's not immune to volatility. The guide actually had a good quote on this.
Yeah.
Something like,
Oh, yeah.
investing in gold can be a double-edged sword. While it offers stability, the lack of income generation and associated costs must be carefully weighed.
A double-edged sword. That sums it up well. It's a trade-off. So, okay, someone's weighed the pros and cons. They think it fits their strategy. What are the actual steps to making this happen?
The guide lays out a pretty clear path. Step 1, choose a reputable Gold IRA company.
Okay, what do they do?
They're kind of your main point of contact. They help you set up the account, guide you through the rollover paperwork, help you choose the metals, and work with the custodian. Choosing a good company is really, really important. You'll want to compare a few.
So they handle the process. And you mentioned a custodian earlier, too. Are they different?
Yes, they are distinct roles, though they work together. The Gold IRA custodian is the financial institution, approved by the IRS, that actually holds the assets and ensures everything follows IRS rules. They handle the actual vaulting, the secure storage of your gold.
Ah, I see. The company facilitates, the custodian holds, and ensures compliance.
Precisely. The Gold IRA company usually has relationships with custodians they recommend, but technically the choice of custodian is yours.
Okay, company chosen, custodian lined up. Next step, getting the money there.
Right. Funding the account. And we keep saying it, but it's critical.
Yeah.
It needs to be a direct rollover from your existing retirement account, your old 401k, traditional IRA, whatever it is.
Straight from the old provider to the new custodian.
Yes. No checks made out to you. This avoids taxes and penalties. It requires coordination between your old plan administrator and your new Gold IRA company, but they handle that.
Got it. Funds transferred. Now the fun part, buying the gold. Can you just buy any gold coin?
Ah, no. The IRS is very specific about this. Your Gold IRA can hold certain types of gold, silver, platinum, or palladium, but they have to meet strict minimum purity standards.
Purity standards, like how pure the metal is.
Exactly. For gold, it generally has to be 0.995 fine, which is 99.5% pure or higher. Your Gold IRA company will give you a list of IRS-approved coins and bars that meet these standards, like American Eagles, Canadian Maple Leafs, certain bars.
Okay, so you choose from an approved list.
Correct. The company helps you buy it and then arranges for it to be shipped directly to the secure depository managed by your custodian.
And speaking of IRS rules, are there other big ones besides the metal purity?
Absolutely. We touch on purity 0.995 plus for gold, 0.999 plus for silver, 0.9995 plus for platinum and palladium. But the huge one is storage.
Right. You said you can't keep it at home.
Cannot keep it at home. Or in your personal safe deposit box. It must be held by an IRS-approved depository or vault associated with your custodian. Trying to take physical possession yourself can invalidate the IRA and trigger major taxes and penalties.
Wow, okay. That's a serious rule.
It is. And again, that direct rollover is key to avoid immediate tax consequences. Your Gold IRA company should be all over these rules and guide you carefully.
Definitely sounds like you need professionals who know this stuff inside out. Last piece here, the costs. What kind of fees should someone anticipate?
The guide mentions a few typical ones. There might be a one-time setup fee for the account, then expect annual fees, one for account administration or maintenance.
Just to keep the account open.
Yeah. And another significant one is the storage fee for the physical metal in the depository.
How does that work? Is it per ounce or?
It can vary. Sometimes it's a flat annual fee, sometimes it's tiered based on the value of your holdings. And you might see options for segregated versus non-segregated storage.
What's the difference?
Segregated means your specific coins or bars are kept separate, identifiable as yours. Non-segregated, or commingled, means your metal is stored alongside identical metals from other clients. Segregated usually costs a bit more, but gives some people peace of mind.
Okay, so setup, annual admin, storage, anything else.
Potentially transaction fees when you buy or eventually sell the metals. It's really important to get a clear, written breakdown of all the fees involved from any company you're considering. Understand the total cost picture.
Absolutely. Hidden fees are never fun. Okay, this has been super informative. The guide also had some FAQs, right? Any common ones stand out?
Yeah, a couple we basically covered. One is, can I roll over my 401k to a Gold IRA without penalties? And the answer, as we discussed, is yes if you do a direct rollover.
Direct rollover, drilling that one in.
It's that important. Another common one is, what specific types of gold can I hold? The guide lists examples like American Gold Eagles, Canadian Gold Maple Leafs, specific gold bars from approved refiners, Australian kangaroos, and even certain gold rounds, as long as they meet that 0.995 purity.
Good specific examples. So wrapping this up then, it sounds like rolling over into a gold IRA can be a useful strategy for diversification, maybe some inflation protection.
Potentially, yes.
But you absolutely have to know which plans are eligible, follow the process carefully, especially that direct rollover part, understand the IRS rules about purity and storage, and be really clear on all the costs.
That sums it up perfectly. Choosing the right, reputable Gold IRA company and custodian is crucial. And sticking to those IRS rules is paramount to make sure it all stays compliant as a retirement account.
Definitely. Okay, so here's a final thought for you, our listener, to chew on. Thinking about the long game, the decades ahead, how might adding a tangible asset like gold, something fundamentally different from paper assets, actually influence your overall financial resilience? Considering market cycles, inflation trends, all that stuff. How might it fit into your personal strategy for the long haul? Something to consider based on your own goals and comfort level with risk. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.